Hi. Hi. Are you my garden buddy? Huh? Look what we've got. I think we're looking at a potato. This is the Adirondack blue, looks like. Yep. And let's see what we've got down here. This got tilled, and you know, even though I've been building up the soil for 3 years, when he tilled it and put the soil in a mound, there's nothing but clay under there. Very challenging, I'll say. First of all, to develop gardens on a hillside that's rocky. And then also to turn a yard into a garden. It's not impossible. I've done it. I've grown a lot of things in this yard. There's another one coming up. The sign is buried. I'm not sure what that one is. Sometime soon I'll be taking the netting off. As soon as it feels like the winds are going to give us a break. But see, there's room. There's room for them to expand up, and I can release these blocks in the middle, which will give them more slack, which will give the fabric more slack. So that's 2 varieties. And let's see over here. See, this is just he scraped all the good dirt. They did, Chase and Randy scraped all the good dirt into the mound, and there's nothing left in the middle. So hey, at least there's no weeds, right? What do we got in here? Surely there's something sprouting up in here. I don't know. Maybe under these. Nope. I don't know. Well, hopefully it won't be long before there's something coming up. Okay, here's the new addition. I'm so excited about it. You haven't seen this yet. Been too busy this week. But I have my new 1-row vineyard of 4 grapevines. These were from Ivy Organic. You know, they also carry nursery plants and in the spring. And I ordered blueberry grape. So this is supposed to be great for jams and jellies. You know, I just absolutely cannot wait. These just got planted, let's see, I think yesterday. And this one, believe it or not, I ordered it last year. It stayed in its pot on the driveway all year, all winter. I thought it was dead. And all of a sudden, this happened. And I thought, well, you're going to be number 4. We're going to see if you can catch up. We can hope for the best. Now, we've got this fence up. It's in a kind of a temporary position. Right now, it's just draped like a curtain. We don't have the bottom secured because this netting does not stretch. And if you secure it all the way down, then you'll have a big gap, and you'll have to make pleats, and you'll have to cut the bottom and all of that stuff when you're on a hill. See right here, I just have it gathered together. A whole big pleat of it. This is just the way it's going to be for a little while. I believe this was 8-foot fencing. Yeah, deer netting. On the other side we have the 10 lavender, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. Yeah, 10 lavender and a lot of dead nettle. So the lavenders look like they're starting to grow. And I'm going to be very interested to see how big they get the first year. So I just want to show you one more thing that's just absolutely amazing, and that is the most outstanding wildflower on my property. And it's not fleabane, which is everywhere and absolutely stunning. But it grows in big groups of flowers, and we're gonna head way over there and I'm gonna show it to you. And it's not henbit, which is everywhere right now. One of the first things to come up. Gorgeous. There are lots of potential peaches. But, oh, we can hope that there aren't worms. Okay, remember when I was complaining about no asparagus? Well, this is a very good example of an asparagus bed that needs additional crowns. When you've got a bunch coming up, you can tell where your crowns are. I've got a crown here, one there, obviously a big one here, one over there, but there's a lot of real estate here, all in here, that I could put a few more crowns, because this is designated for asparagus, even though I have a huge, well, I forget what this is. Is this plantain? Yeah, that's wide leaf plantain, and this is dandelion. And then I've got nutgrass. I wanted to talk to you about that. We'll do that in a separate video. Okay, I'm gonna get this bed planted before I go in tonight. It's been on my list to do for a week, but we've had strange weather. The ones I got planted the other day are 3 to 4 times as big as the ones still in the trays, so happy about that. I've kept it under frost blanket. It's going to be 34 or 36 again tonight, and then it looks like maybe that's it for the frost or near frost weather. This one's looking good also. All right, let's head over and see that. There's so much to see here. If you're new to my channel, I am a little over 9 acres. I've been developing a lot of the yard into gardens, and so it's impossible to see it all in one. What are all these bugs? I'm crazy today. This is actually the wildflower I was talking about. That's just one little clump. Right beside, I've got the red clover, I've got the henbit, and fleabane coming up, and what else? Just right here, of course, I've got the cleavers. That's the cleavers. Just standing in one spot, you can get like at least a dozen wildflowers, which are medicinal. That is fleabane, because look, that's the way the bottom looks. That's the way the bottom looks. That's fleabane. Okay, I wanted to show you. Here's my first orchard, and I had 3 crepe myrtles. Hello. Here's my dog. She's my pet dog. Yeah, you're my pet dog. You're always with me. Crepe myrtle, they struggled. They get the biggest anthills, fire anthills. They've been treated with come and get it, because you can't, put gasoline or anything at the base of a plant. You'll kill it. This is a product that was recommended to me that I have used with some success. Here's another one. Anyway, we gave it a real pruning, because the taller, I've never pruned it, since 22 when they were planted. And these big tall branches just look dead, and hopefully this will reinvigorate the plant. I've got the red bud over there. At any rate, all of these fruit trees, these in the front, were planted in 22. The ones back over there were planted just this past fall. And we replaced all of the white stripping. It's like sort of like a slinky. It goes around the base of the tree. You should just use that, in my opinion. You should just use that on a very young, skinny tree, and then remove it, because I could tell it almost killed some of the 3 trees over there. It almost killed the plum tree, because it's supposed to expand as the trunk expands, but it didn't. And it was literally choking it. So everything got replaced. Unfortunately, we have deer, and it just seems crazy to have these black tubes around the base of every tree. But the deer will ruin them, and they almost killed my willow tree, which wasn't protected. So anyway, we're going to walk through here, even though this used to be poison ivy central. You see, we had, where is it? This cedar tree had very low branches, and so it came out way out. You know, poison ivy loves the shade, and frostweed is a companion. This was all frostweed. This is frostweed, which is actually very pretty. All frostweed and poison ivy under here. And it helped tremendously getting those branches off and getting more sunlight in here. But let's see what we've got here. It could be a maple. I'm not sure what that is. Oh, and here's another anthill. I mean, I'm telling you, they're everywhere. Oh, and here's one of these. These weeds are just monsters. But they probably, I'm sure they have medicinal benefit, but they're monsters. Once you let their big flower, it's sort of like a artichoke flower. Once you let that thing go to seed, the seeds get everywhere, and you're going to be digging that up. Right there. Poison ivy. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. Get over here. Come on. Good girl. This is Miami mist. It just couldn't be more beautiful. This is the sole reason I told the mower not to come. This is a sea, literally a sea of Miami mist. Look at that. It's just stunning. So I push off that first mow as long as I can. You know, I have a medicinal plants playlist that I really added to a lot last year. So check that out if you're into making your own medicine. And of course, do your own research. I'm not a doctor, but there's some more things I want to add to it. Plantain, obviously, which happens to be right here. This is narrow leaf, and you can tell because these ribs are closer together and the leaf is not as wide. Simple. You're so pretty. You're almost as pretty as the flowers. Yeah, be careful of the car. Be careful. Yeah. All right, so let's go get a gander at this butterweed. Gonna try to walk through here. One of the great surprises, this is purple dead nettle, and this is what purple dead nettle looks like when it gets to be the end of the season for it. It's one of the first things to come. It just starts turning kind of beige tan, and you know it's pretty much finished because the leaves are very green and all of that in the beginning. So this is butterweed, and it just makes these gorgeous flowers. And you know, if I had cattle in the pasture, I might not want that. I don't know. I'd have to research it. But I don't, and so I do. This is dock, and I'm overrun with dock. I have a curly dock video. You can make tincture out of the root, which I did. And here we go. Here's what I'm looking for. This is wild bergamot. And I'm very interested to have it grow. And if he had come and mowed, and this is not marked, and which obviously I don't have this marked, that would have been mowed flat. And I planted seeds for wild bergamot. It was over in here somewhere. It was several multi-branch, 2 to 3 feet tall, gorgeous flowers. And what I planted in the garden, it never bloomed, and it just kind of creepy crawled on the ground, and it was just sort of in the way and a pain. And so I want to see what it does this year. Okay, this is more of the butterweed, and it's just so pretty. It kind of grows out from patches, although you'll see one here and one there, but this Miami mist is just It's just like, it's like meringue on a pie. You know how meringue dresses up everything on a pie? Fudge pie is just sort of boring until you get that pretty meringue on top. And look, it's all through the woods. And it's even prettier on the other side of my property, but it goes way over there. That's not my property over there, but it just keeps going. So, all right, we're too close to the road, don't you think? Let's go back the other way. Come on. BJ, psst, psst, let's go. Okay, so here's more wild bergamot. Oh, and this one is marked, actually. Yeah, I think this is the one that I remember from last year. It is a perennial. Let's head over to the meadow. Oh, first let's have a close-up. They're so pretty. I love them. Miami mist. It's definitely something to look forward to in the beginning of April. Yeah. Got to get these dandelions. Do you see what I see? Yep, right there. We got to spray again under here. Hey, you're not laying on any poison ivy, are you? Oh, no, not at all. Look at this. Look at this. You're wagging your tail on that tree. And the vines are all over. Okay, don't touch me. You're going to have to lick your entire body before I pet you. Here we are at the meadow. I highly recommend setting aside even a small area for a meadow. This area is probably, it doesn't have a real defined border, but it's probably about, I want to say 15 by 20. But I got a lot of yarrow, and I do have a yarrow video, yarrow tincture. Lots of yarrow here. Yarrow is a great medicinal plant that was used during the war, Civil War, for stopping bleeding. You just take some of the branches, these are baby branches, but you take some of the leaves and just slap it on your wound, and it's supposed to stop the bleeding. Okay, here's Coreopsis. These wildflower seeds I did spread a couple of years ago, and so now I have all these beautiful plants coming up. So got a bunch of those, and then we planted some stuff. There's a deer track. We planted some stuff in here. We actually tilled just about a third of this area. Randy did, and I spread some wildflower seeds, but I'm not holding my breath here. I don't see anything coming up that looks promising. But here we have Coreopsis, and there's Lance, I forget the exact, Lance leafed, and then there's another one. There's two different Coreopsis in here. Okay, so we're kind of walking around the border here. More yarrow. I actually planted the yarrow here, transplanted it here. This is, I'll put the name on the screen because I've temporarily forgotten it. Well, it's a succulent. It grows on top of rocks. So wherever you see this growing, you know there's no soil to speak of. Just grows like a blanket on top of rock. And it has the prettiest star-shaped, the flowers are in a star shape. I don't know what that grass is. I don't know if I planted that. It sure doesn't look like anything natural. Let's look over here. There's more. And I'll be sure and get a shot at, oops, I'm walking in it. This little tiny flower, it's lavender, but it's blue field madder, M-A-D-D-E-R. And it's just so pretty. It's so tiny. And you just think, what a gift. Just to have something really pretty, and it's all growing in the other I guess because it's so small, it's got a very shallow root system and it grows in that other succulent. I certainly hope we didn't ruin the middle of it by tilling there. Maybe something will come up. Just a quick look at the established grapevines. There are 9 vines here. My friend Daryl came over and he pruned them. We pruned them together. This is what happens if you don't do it right the first time, which is what I'm trying to correct with my new vineyard. My new vineyard of 4 vines is I did not get the trunk straight on a stake when I first planted it. They got all gnarly and twisted, and that's why the trunks look the way they do. But they're amazing survivors, and I'm hoping, even though they look like they're peeling and dying and all of that, we do have growth. And so I am hopeful. These vines have struggled with anthracnose, which is a terrible disease on grapes and other plants. And I don't know how things are going to go this year, but at least we've got the pruning. The pruning. This is the 4-arm Kniffen method, K-N-I-F-F-E-N, where you have 2 lines, 1, 2. You just have 2 rows of vines on each plant. And all this is going to fill out. Whether it produces good grapes or not, it will fill out. Oh, there's so much more to show you, but we'll save that for another video.